Hey Derek, what's up?
Oh, hey Dan, what's going on?
What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm just trying to work out this crop factor stuff. It's pretty complex. I don't think you'd understand.
Oh really? Well, actually I know a lot about crop factor.
Oh yeah, like what?
Well, for one I could tell you that this 24mm lens on an APS-C based sensor camera looks like this, as opposed to like this with a full frame sensor. Do you know why that is, Derek?
Is it magic?
Not exactly, no.
A camera's crop factor is a way of numerically describing how much smaller its sensor is versus the 35mm film format. Basically, we're talking about how the size of your camera's image sensor can alter the same lens's field of view. When comparing camera sensor sizes, the standard reference size is called a full-frame sensor. It's a size adapted from the era of 35mm film that's now used as a reference size in the digital age. Some cameras have what are called APS-C sensors, which are smaller. What that means is that the same lens on a camera with a smaller sensor will end up with a reduced field of view, or what we call a cropped image. Most lenses have a focal length based on being paired with a 35mm or full-frame sensor. So what do you do if you have a lens with a focal length based on a full-frame sensor but your camera has an APS-C sensor? Look up the crop factor. Alright, so let's do a little bit of math. Just take the crop factor and multiply it by the lens focal length to know what your equivalent field of view will be. For example, a 50mm lens on an APS-C sensor with a crop factor of 1.6 will give you the equivalent of an 80mm lens's field of view. So remember, a camera with the same lens but a smaller sensor will crop the image more than a camera with a larger sensor.
Oh, that's really interesting, Dan, but why do we need to even know that mumbo jumbo?
Well, let me explain a little bit more, Derek.
Crop factor is an important consideration when selecting a camera or lens to shoot with. Keep in mind that there are certain limitations to every camera and lens combination. In some situations you'll want your shot to be very wide, but that might not be possible with the equipment you have. Alternatively, you can exaggerate the focal length of a lens when it's placed on a camera with a smaller than full-frame sensor, like an APS-C based camera. Keep in mind that in each of these shots we used the same lens while keeping the camera in the same position. The only thing we changed was the camera body to show you the difference in field of view. Crop factor might seem a bit confusing, so please refer to the accompanying lesson for a more detailed explanation.
So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to crop factor.
Yeah, you could have just said magic, Dan.
I don't believe in magic, Derek.